How you doing out there? Welcome to Frankie Russo pre-show number 92. Okay, so before we get in there, I just want to, once again, America's team. We started our first crowdfunding. I did the video last week. Now we have the Indigo page. America's team. You got to help America's team help our veterans. We're doing our crowdfunding. We got a funding goal of 50,000. We're going to raise the 50,000, and what we're going to do is we're going to build, meaning we're going to put together, we're going to organize a scalable stress reduction biofeedback center for the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take the 50,000. I've already raised in all my crowdfundings and everything about 600. Throwing that in the pot. I haven't touched that money. Throwing that in the pot and whatever else we could raise. I believe we're going to raise the 50,000, and we're going to help the United States men and women fight this post-traumatic stress disorder, which is causing an alarming amount of suicides, and we're very concerned about it. And we're going to start with a stress reduction. We'll rent two rooms. We get a zero-based gravity chairs. We'll get some music. We'll start with some handheld biofeedback devices, which will help us gauge how well the men and women of the armed forces are relaxing in this stress reduction biofeedback center. It's not a full-blown center, but we're going to start small. We already have some veterans that want to get involved. And that's how we're going to go with this. This is our gift to the United States men and women of the armed forces. We got to do this. You got to go to facebook.com/ America's team. No, wait. Okay. facebook.com/ Frankie Russo show. And I got just click on one of those. I got all those things going on about the show tonight. Call tonight. I got the America's team. Just click on the America's team. One of those. There's so many on the Frankie Russo show page. Just click on one, and it'll kick you right to the. You look for the link for the Indigo page. It'll kick you right to the Indigo page, and donate. I'm telling you, it's a great cause. We're gonna make it happen. And I got my first reception December 13th. It's a Sunday from 12 to 2. Christmas reception at the Hunter's Steakhouse, 94th Street and 4th Avenue. You come down. It's like our pre-launch for the America's team first crowdfunding campaign. Help America's team, help our veterans. And what we're going to do is, it's let Frankie Russo, me, buy you a Christmas drink. You get your first drink is on the house, Frankie Russo. Let me buy you a Christmas drink. We break some bread. We talk about how we could make America's team, how we can help America's team help our veterans in this $50,000 fundraising goal. Okay, Frankie Russo, yes. Now I'm going to kick to the pre-show. Also, I can't forget, I'd be remiss. Special shout out to the gentleman the marketing guru that put together the crowdfunding for me, the online crowdfunding campaign. He's helping me with it. Howard Sherman from crowdfundbuzz.com. He did a fabulous job. He drafted up the campaign for me. We went over all the elements, what I'm looking to do. Crowdfundbuzz.com. Howard Sherman, special shout out. Okay, so we'll talk about it at the end of the pre-show. So, like always, when I start my pre-show, I just like to go to the model. and then we'll add some things to it because I found some interesting things, bro. It's crazy stuff. Now, this model with Bomber as a legal president, fraudulent selective service card, memorandum of understanding with the Clinton Foundation, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, the Royce letter was sent to John Kerry, just to give you an idea. Because what we're doing is we got Obama, illegal president, fraudulent selective service card, Sheriff Joe Nicole Posse. It's almost 12 o'clock in the morning. Clinton Foundation with Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and we know that they've been working for since 1998. Kenneth Timmerman's data. They've been working with Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, to helping Iran get around the sanctions out in Europe. European countries have been wanting to do business with Iran, and the Clinton Foundation has been helping them. Numerous instances: the Balia Aviation, Interpipe, Uranium One, the deal with Russia. Russia and Iran got their own oil deal, so they're together. They just had a meeting out in Tehran. Russia was out in Iran like a week or two ago. Putin. So they're all in there. Okay. So the Ross letter. Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State at the time, but he addresses the Ross letter, and it goes into before 2012 who the Secretary of State was. So he sent the letter to John Kerry, the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. I spoke about this on the show a couple of times, but I just want to bring it up again for everybody to understand the gravity of the situation. So this is let's see. Okay, it's on the other side. So this is Chairman Ed Royce, and Chairman Emeritus Chairwoman Ross Illethan from Florida. So she's the lady from Florida, the chairwoman from Florida, Congresswoman Ross Illethan, and then there's the letter was from, in addition, Chairman of. He's the chairman. She's the chairwoman emeritus. Royce, Royce. He's from California. They wrote this letter to John Kerry about the Iranian, North Korea, Syria Non-Proliferation Act. It requires the president to transmit a report to the House Committee on Foreign Affairs every 6 months, identifying foreign companies that have assisted Iran's nuclear program. These reports form the basis for sanctions. However, the Government Accountability, the GA office, the GAO, the Government Accountability Office. This is the government's internal watchdog. It has Republicans and Democrats on this GAO, the Government Accountability Office. Found that political concerns such as international negotiations have delayed these reports, while a senior State Department official responsible for implementing the law took more than a year to sign off on the most recent report to Congress. This is like a capitulation before the deal even happens. And in the letter, I have the letter over here. In the letter, the Obama administration has continuously stressed that it will vigorously enforce sanctions on Iran, even as it. This is from the letter, Congressman Ross, Congresswoman Emeritus Ross Illethan from Florida, and Congressman Ed Ross is from California. To John Kerry, Secretary of State. The Obama administration has continuously stressed that it will vigorously enforce sanctions on Iran even as it negotiates a nuclear agreement. But its failure to comply with the law because of its zeal for a nuclear deal has resulted in de facto sanctions for the relief for the Iranian regime. Unbelievable. This report by the nonpartisan government watchdog shows the administration's empty rhetoric. This report gives me little confidence that the administration would aggressively police any final agreement with Iran. So this is what, so in addition, in the letter, I'll pull it up right now. The Ross letter. Just to give you an idea. I printed it out, it's still in the Ross letter, right? It says here, however, they had a subcommittee, at their subcommittee meeting on Middle East and North Africa, the Government Accountability Office testimony made clear that the State Department is not fully implementing the law. Specifically, the GAO found that the State Department has not established a process that would allow it to comply with the 6-month reporting cycle required by the Iranian, North Korea, Syrian Non-Proliferation Act. As they form the basis for sanctioning violators for the act, these reports are crucial for implementing the sanctions. Now, here's the facts. Delayed implementation has real consequences. So, according to the letter, it's been delayed over a year, amounting to de facto sanctions relief. No sanctions has been implemented because of the delays. As a result of the department's successive delays, only 82 individuals were sanctioned from 2006 to May 2015, while sanctions were imposed on average 28 months after the end of the relevant reporting period. Failure to vigorously impose sanctions against those aiding in the non-proliferation efforts of Iran, North Korea, and Syria undermines U.S. efforts to end these rogue regimes' dangerous weapons of mass destruction and weapons programs. So, this is where we're at. So, to understand this further, the department officials describe the Iranian, North Korean, Syrian Non-Proliferation Act sanctions as an important and flexible non-proliferation tool. Yet instead of issuing reports to Congress every 6 months, as required by law, as we mentioned earlier, the State Department attempts to report on an annual basis. However, the department has continually missed even this self-imposed deadline, which is itself at odds with the law. The department's most recent report covering violations that first came to light in 2011, that was when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, was not issued until December 2014, a delay of nearly 3 years. So they've already begun the capitulation and the acquiescing to the Iranian global terror network, just to show that. Okay? All right. Now, I just want to, okay, now, so we got that. So we understand the Clinton Foundation's role and the Obama, the illegal president, forged like the service card. We got Russia. And then we got this Iranian global terror network, which has Iranian surrogates. And we got CARE, Council of American Islamic Relations, ISA, Islamic Society in North America. We got the North American Islamic Trust, which dealt with the 5 Marines that were killed in Chattanooga, Tennessee. They funded the radicalization, the mosque that radicalized those individuals that killed the unfortunate killing of 5 United States Marines. We got the Alevi Foundation, we got the Assa Corporation, we got Bank Melli of Iran. According to the United States Treasury Department, a proliferator of weapons of mass destruction, going back to 2002, around 2004, hundreds of millions of dollars to Hamas, Hezbollah, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds Force, crazy stuff. And then we got Ansar al-Sharia, which dealt with the cover-up, the Benghazi cover-up. The Quds Force provided material support, weapons, money, and training to Ansar al-Sharia that did the unfortunate thing to the Benghazi mission, which killed on the unfortunate killing of 4 Americans. Okay, we got ISIS, Iran. I go through it every week. There's substantive proof and evidence that ISIS is conceivably, worst case scenario, controlled. Iran's got their hand in there, a substantial hand. And, proof is the data I've been presenting every week, plus the Iranian Iraq 1980 to 1988 war. There's no way right now, in my mind, I can't see it, that Iran is going to allow a Western Sunni militia to gain momentum and power in the region without Iran having their hand in there, without Iran controlling it, quite frankly. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Al-Qaeda Iran, we talk about that, the 9/11 case with Iran, it's all over. It's all over that. There's so much evidence on Al-Qaeda Iran, it's crazy. You got al-Sunni, you got Yassin al-Sunni, Mushin al-Fadali, you got Harullah from the Gitmo. He was one of the 5 Afghan Taliban that was released. He got ties all the way to Iran, to the Zahedan city of Iran, according to the Weekly Standard. And then we got Hezbollah Iran, known to be the terrorist arm of Iran. We got Afghan Taliban. We got Harullah, he's an Afghan Taliban. There's many others. And then we got Hamas Iran, Congressional Research Service, Washington Free Beacon, Hamas. Iran gives Hamas tens of millions of dollars in rockets to drop on Israel. They've been doing this since 2006, about 5,000 to 10,000 rockets from 2006 to today. 5,000 to 10,000 rockets have been hit on on Israel. So Iran has materially supported Hamas with tens of millions of dollars, according to the Washington Free Beacon. I want to repeat it to make sure I said it right. Washington Free Beacon and the Congressional Record Service. Tens of millions of dollars and 5,000 to 10,000 rockets have been dropped on Israel by Hamas, and the rockets were given to them by Iran. Okay? So that's pretty much the Iranian surrogate thing at the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds Force, General Soleimani, who's the leader of the Quds Force, which is the special forces of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. And then we got the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence and Security, which materially supported Al-Qaeda in Iraq, $2 million for an indefinite period of time. And they also gave Yassin al-Suri. Well, no, they didn't materially support. Al-Nuni from Qatar did, but they materially supported Al-Qaeda in Iraq, which birthed ISIS. And that was the first leader from Al-Qaeda in Iraq was Abu Zakari. Abu Zakari had very strong ties into Iran. And so does Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, but I don't even know if he's alive anymore. There's some rumor that he's been whacked, but I don't know. And then we got Syria and Assad. Oh my God. And just to give you, we got the Blind Sheik, took $1.4 million from the Levy Foundation, 650 Fifth Avenue case, that's Iran, the Iranian government, court papers, judge's decision, $1.4 million. You got the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, the 9/11 hit, Holy Land Foundation trial. You got the 650 Fifth Avenue case. You got Mohammed al-Mawad, the Yemen Sheikh, terrorist financier, was guilty. You got the Brooklyn ice cream parlor, terror financier, guilty. And you got money laundering and illegal money transmitting coming out of the Blind Sheikh's Mosque, the Jersey City Mosque, all those mosques in that region. Then you got the Erbil, Iraq release of 5 Quds Force leaders under the Obama administration. And then Obama did the Bergdahl trade, and we know how that was with Qatar, getting all that billions of dollars of weapons and the safe haven for terrorists, according to Congressman Doug Lamborn. And then you got al-Numani, a Qatari national, for example, al-Numani. Not only did he materially support Al Qaeda in Iraq with millions of dollars. Right. The Iranian Ministry, the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence and Security provided material support, to Al Qaeda in Iraq, according to the United States Treasury Department. I'm qualifying this. Al Numani the Qatari national gave $2 million. He's the one that gave it to $2 million to Al Qaeda in Iraq, which is ISIS, according to the United States Treasury Department. So it wasn't, they provided, according to the United States Treasury Department, the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence and Security gave money, provided support to Al Qaeda in Iraq, ISIS, absolutely. Al Numani, the Qatari national, according to the United States Treasury Department, gave $2 million weekly for an unspecified period to Al Qaeda in Iraq, ISIS. And also he gave money to Yassin al-Suri, hundreds of thousands of dollars, who is the Al Qaeda Iran, he's head of the Al Qaeda Iran nexus in Zahedan city of Iran. Okay? And then we got the Hamas Palestinian Authority, where they waived the federal statutes and in favor of humanitarian aid and national security. And Obama gave them hundreds of millions of dollars on the front end of the funnel. On the back end of the money funnel, Iran's given tens of millions of dollars to Hamas. So there's got to be some sort of money exchanging over here between Hamas and Palestinian Authority and Iran, because Iran is right there with Hamas and Palestinian Authority. Hamas got recognized in the UN recently, and they thanked Iran. I mean, this is crazy stuff. And then you got the Syrian thing, right? Now, this is where everything gets crazy with Benghazi too. $500 million went to Syria. Assad went to Syria, right, to fight the Syrian rebels, to fight the Assad regime, which is Iran. Assad is fronting for Iran. Truth be told. And he sends $500 million to the Syrian rebels. They don't know whether they have 50 fighters, 30 fighters. It came out, they have 9 fighters. They had to squash the program. Now they're jacking it up again. Where's the $500 million? Did Iran? Is this another way of funneling money to the Iranian government, to Iran, through these humanitarian aid, through this secret proxy war or whatever? I have no idea, but it's pretty horrific. Knowing that Iran is propping Assad, Iran's giving Assad between 3.5 to 15 billion, according to the Congressional Research Service. So, go figure. And then you got Benghazi's Ansar al-Sharia with the Quds Force doing the covert activities and unfortunately killing four Americans, unfortunately. So that's pretty much the model. And with this model, Obama, Clinton Foundation, Obama legal president for just like the service card, memorandum of understanding with the Clinton Foundation, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Russia, and the Iranian Global Terror Network. You can go anywhere through that. That's the criminal enterprise right there. Truth be told. Okay, now, I just want to give you all a little more information to let you understand this Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. As a government body, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, I read this like quite a number of months ago, but I want to read it again because I want everybody to understand the sophistication of this Iranian global terror network. As a government body, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps enjoyed a budget of approximately $1.7 billion in 2013 to 2014. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps is also Iran's most powerful economic actor. Crazy. According to the United States Treasury Department, which labeled the National Iranian Oil Company as an agent or affiliate of the Revolutionary Guard Corps. Okay, so they labeled National Iranian Oil Corporation, oil company, as a designated terrorist entity because they were providing services to the IRGC, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, which includes the Quds Force. Within the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, the Quds Force and its leader, General Soleimani, exerts control over strategic industries, commercial services, and black market enterprises, oil smuggling. It's my contention. You got Obama, illegal president, fraudulent sector service card. You got Russia to the right, part of this criminal enterprise. You got on the bottom the Clinton Foundation. They've been allowing and enabling other countries, other entities within other countries in Europe, for example, to enable Iran to get around the sanctions to garner money. With that going on, you got the point of this whole thing, the point guard in basketball terms, the focus of this model is the Iranian global terror network and its Iranian surrogates that I went over briefly. So the black market is interesting because it's oil smuggling, and it's, we talked about it last week. It's this so-called ISIS, which is made up of the Abu Zakwari crew, the Saddam Hussein regime corps, this al-Nusra Front group. It's like a conglomerate of radical Islamists, and you got this ISIL group, this Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi group in there. So I'm not even sure if Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi's alive. It's this reports that he may have been whacked by drones. I don't know. And we'll find out soon. But it's this ISIS thing, which I think is what I believe is it's a creation of Iran, basically. And I have some evidence. We go over it every week, and I add things to it. And more information I garner, the more information it looks like Iran in some way. Iran's got its worst case scenario. Iran's got its hand in materially supporting ISIS, money, weapons, and training. Absolutely, unequivocally, that's definitely statistically significant. According to a 2007 Los Angeles Times report, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps has ties to over 100 companies controlling over $12 billion. These funds are used to exert influence in Iran and Iranian proxies. For example, the Iranian surrogates that we talk about. So we got this Iranian global terror network, and it has its nexuses in each of these entities, this Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, Afghan Taliban, the Hamas, ISIS, Ansar al-Sharia. You got the the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group, which overthrew Gaddafi, conceivably metamorphosized into Ansar al-Sharia with Abu Qatala and bin Kumu, and then we got all this the support from the Quds Force, the General Soleimani, money, weapons, and training, and they did the hit on Benghazi mission, the unfortunate hit. But they use this; they control over $12 billion with over 100 ties to over 100 companies. According to the Council on Foreign Relations, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps is heavily involved in everything from pharmaceuticals to telecommunications and pipelines, and even the new Imam Khomeini airport, and a great deal of smuggling, oil smuggling. That's why when we hear, Chris Wallace goes, he says, hey, sanctions don't work. On the books, sanctions don't work. Centrifuges are going up. Well, it was working as far as in the Iranian economy that's on the books, because it was crippling the Iranian economy on the books. But they were able to get around all this stuff through the black markets, and that's how they used the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, with the Quds Force, Special Forces with General Soleimani. Many of the front companies engaged in procuring nuclear technology are owned and run by the Revolutionary Guards. They're developing along the lines of the Chinese military, which is involved in many business enterprises, and it's a huge business conglomeration. They are ISIS. Conceivably, they are ISIS. I'm telling you. Very strong data that ISIS, conceivably, I'm close. I'm getting closer and closer to putting this whole model together. I'm close to be able to prove with much statistical significance that ISIS is the creation of Iran, and America just acquiesced. The Obama Clinton administration just acquiesced, capitulated to Iran, allowed them to do whatever they wanted. They allowed them to create ISIS. So ISIS is the Sunni militia running around, barbaric savagery, and everybody talks about ISIS. Everybody talks about ISIS, and nobody talks about Iran. ISIL, Al-Qaeda affiliates, all this stuff. So that's that. I just wanted to bring that up. And now, to go through these things a little bit, I just want to go through these things just a little bit over here. I stumbled onto, these are little sidebar things that I'm gonna go through quickly, that I'm gonna bring some up tonight on tonight's show, which is I'm gonna go off in about 10-15 minutes. I found this one. Okay, this one here. Okay, listen to this one. I found this. I stumbled onto this because I research every day, looking for different things. And Islamic Center of Tucson. This is in the Investigative Project on Terrorism, investigativeproject.org, MAS. Just put in this, do a search there, put Islamic Center of Tucson. It's in Arizona. Al-Qaeda, Hamas. Listen to this. This is, let me tell you, investigativeproject.org is another amazing research center for finding out what's going on in this global terrorism world, quite frankly. Between 1985 and 1993, the Islamic Center of Tucson is alleged to have served as the de facto Al-Qaeda headquarters in the United States. Crazy. First sentence. It's crazy stuff, right? In the mid-1980s, the Islamic Center of Tucson is considered by many to be the precursor to Al-Qaeda. Several leaders in attendance of this mosque become Al-Qaeda leaders. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. We're not even going into other details. Crazy stuff. Now, here's one that blew the lid off me. This one I'm just like, I got to find out more information on this. Iran terrorism proliferation, Sharia compliant finance. Now, before I get into this article, I know there was a bailout in 2008. I'm going to get more information next week. There was a 2008 bailout on the Obama, and I know the AIG had a big bailout. I don't know all the numbers, but I'm pretty certain it was upwards of $500 million, at least. I'm not sure exactly. And I know of that money, 140-something million went to Sharia compliant products. That AIG had a committee overseeing these Sharia compliant products, made up of which I'm going to find out over this week, this whole thing, because it brings in Iran and the Harvard Law School celebration. Harvard Law School. Conceivably, there's rumors that they are a safe haven for radical Islamists. Khalid al-Mansour, maybe. I'm not sure. I got to find out more information, and I'm going to bring that to the table too next week, because that ties in the Barry Soetoro, Muslim from Indonesia, a.k.a. Barack H. Obama, Christian from Chicago, now metamorphosizing into the Shah of Iran. That brings him into this global terror network from another spot. Before he was president. It's crazy stuff. So in April of 2008, before Obama was elected, the Harvard Law School celebration of Islamic finance. This event, this is according to Iran Terrorism Proliferation and Sharia Compliant Finance. Sharia Finance Watch, Center for Security Policy. Very interesting. They produce some very interesting stuff. According to this article in April of 2008, Harvard Law School celebration of Islamic finance, this event has been labeled by others as a shilling of Sharia at Harvard, and is exactly what it was. During the presentations, there were approximately no critical thought expressed on the wider issue of Sharia. No one at this event expressed any concern that there might be some problems associated with introducing Sharia into the West, that there might be a possible connection between Sharia and jihad. It gave out handouts and distributed to the conference attendees top 500 Islamic financial institutions. On its face, nothing about it, this publication seems spectacular. It is like, but it was truly, he said that this Sharia Finance Watch, a project of Center for Security Policy, found it rather interesting that nothing about the information that was presented, as I mentioned earlier, seemed spectacular, and it was a supplement to this issue of The Banker, a British financial magazine, and it's common knowledge, according to this Sharia Finance Watch, that Sharia compliant finance has a firm foothold in the UK. But the people that attended this conference at Harvard Law School was unbelievably shocked about what they found in the publication. The headline for the article, they were thumbing through this publication, the Banker, that they issued to all the attendees at this conference. The headline for the article was "Iran Dominates in the World of Sharia Compliance." That's off the hook. In the entire two-day Harvard Law School conference, according to the attendees from the Sharia Finance Watch, no one uttered the word Iran. It's crazy stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get more information on this and tie this into the Harvard Law, because I believe there's some data out there. Harvard Law School, safe haven for radical Islamists. Conceivable. If I'm not mistaken, Khalid al-Mansour may be involved in this too. So next week I'm gonna try to bring that in. So that's another article that we came out with. Now, okay. Now this article by Jerome Corsi from the World Net Daily. Did radical Islamists help send Obama to Harvard? Now, he talks about an interview, and I just found this article. I saw the interview because I was on YouTube, and I just said, let me see if there's anything on YouTube about Obama and Harvard and these radical Islamists. And they had this interview with this Harlem lawyer, media mogul. He's owned radio stations and others, Percy Sutton. And he He talks about with Dominic Carter, if I'm not mistaken, from New York One, I think it was, that the close ties between Khalid al-Mansour, and if I'm not mistaken, Khalid al-Mansour is from Harvard, and Obama. So, and he mentions one of the most wealthiest men in the world, which was Prince Talal. So that's where I ended off. I haven't pursued it further to see to connect everything as profound as I can through the sources that I garner. But I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm going to try to tie this all together with the Sharia compliance and see where that gets me. But that's where I'm at with that. I found those articles today. Okay, and then we got this other. I'm going to bring that in, and then I found this other thing with. Well, I found some others. I'm going to bring this in too now. This is by. Okay, wait. Okay, this is by Senator Sessions, Jeff Sessions from Alabama. He claims Senator Sessions reveals 12 refugee radical Islamists charged this year. He hopes to shrink the. He said Senator Jeff Sessions from Alabama has a list with 12 vetted refugees who quickly joined jihad plots to attack the United States. And he's spotlighting the refugees turned jihadists because he's trying to prod the GOP leaders into halting Congress's normal practice of giving the president huge leeway to import foreign migrants and refugees into the United States. This year, Obama is promising an extra 10,000 low-skilled, potentially difficult to integrate Syrian migrants into the United States. And Sessions and other critics fear he'll use his powers in Congress autoplay funding for refugee programs to bring in far more than 10,000 immigrants. In fact, from 2010 to 2015, Obama has allowed more than 200,000 low-skilled migrants from Central America to enter the United States and then disappear into the nation's growing population of at least 11 million illegal immigrants. Obama says the new refugees will be vetted, which is, but the top security officials say the Syrians can't be vetted because the U.S. does not know what they were doing in Syria before they applied for refugee status. Besides, many of the radical Islamist attempts in the United States are launched by the children of Muslim refugees and migrants. The list includes two Chechen brothers who bombed the Boston Marathon, Anwar al-Awlaki, who was killed by a U.S. missile strike when he fled to Yemen after the 9/11 atrocity. That means America's federal government is actively importing national security problems that will eventually cost billions of dollars to manage and kill thousands of Americans. What about that? Congressional leaders will set funding levels and possible curbs during December appropriations debate. The list, which only covers 2015, illustrates just how incapable our government is of vetting refugees or predicting post-entry. This is by Breitbart, by the way. They published this article. Yet the president wants a completely blank check to fund not only all of these existing refugee programs from across the globe, but to add a permanent Syrian resettlement program to it, funded directly out of America's paychecks and retirement accounts. And I'm going to go through some of these tonight. But it's crazy. This is crazy stuff. Libyan Haji Mohammed, Abdel Nasir Mohammed Ibrahim, Abdul Romo Pazara. It's just unbelievable, the stuff that, and there's many more. So that's an interesting one. So I got some other stuff too I'm looking at. And just for the record, I found this article. I'm going to close on this, okay? According to the Washington Post, in a response to all these mainstream press that's claiming that Donald Trump was not accurate about now this is the Washington Post, Okay? The Washington Post. About the mosque, the Jersey City celebration after the 9/11 hit. And according to the Washington Post, it happened. As this was published September 18th, 2001. The FBI investigation into the terrorist attacks on World Trade Center and Pentagon has led agents back to a familiar area, northern New Jersey, Jersey City specifically. Jersey City, just across the river. A Muslim cell plotted 1993 World Trade Center bombing and sought to destroy other New York landmarks. It is believed that 13 of those detained by federal authorities for questioning in its probe into the worst terrorist attack in United States history, 9/11, are from the Jersey City area. A team of agents conducted a myriad of interviews and seized computer and paper records at apartment buildings, businesses, hotels, and motels in the Jersey City area, etc. Now, by the way, this article is written by Frederick Kunkel and Serge Kavleski. I pronounced that right. Okay, so there was a 20-page FBI watch list containing the names of 300 people, law enforcement officials of Northeast, could be potentially fertile ground as 4,000 federal agents searched for compliances. This is during that time. They were searching feverishly for the devastating, clues into the devastating terrorist attacks that hit the 9/11, the unfortunate, horrific hit, right? I saw it here. I saw it here. Okay. In Jersey City, within hours of two jetliners plowing into the World Trade Center, law enforcement authorities detained and questioned a number of people who were allegedly seen celebrating the attacks and holding tailgate-style parties on rooftops while they watched the devastation on the other side of the river. Washington Post, check it out. Washington Post, Northern New Jersey draws probers' eyes. Truth be told, Serge Kavaleski, Kovaleski, and Frederick Kunkel of the Washington Post. This is the Frankie Russo show. I'm getting ready for the live show. You got to go to facebook.com/Frankie Russo show and help America's team, help our veterans. And you got to check out December 13th. Put this in your book. Sunday, 12 to 2. Sunday, Christmas reception. Let Frankie Russo buy you a Christmas drink. And this is the beginning of the fundraising for America's Team First crowdfunding. Help America's team, help our veterans. We're going to start from small, from scratch, and build a stress reduction biofeedback center for the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. This is the Frankie Russo pre-show. Yeah, yeah. I'll see you in a half hour. Yeah, yeah.